All right, what is up, everybody? This is round 4 of Tamaqua, New Jersey's Prime. On the left, we have some idiot playing eLorSanTekka 3PO Anakin without a plot because he's an idiot. And on the right, we have eSatine at Elite, single die 3PO, single die R2 with armored reinforcements, piloted by Minion. So we start off early with a Pacify on eSatine's resource. He rolls out a 2 melee on R2 and turns to the resource on eSatine. We see an Annie's pod come down. Ambush action is to get it in there. Doesn't have to worry about Forsaken, doesn't have to worry about DM. It looks like it hits a Disrupt. 3PO comes in, takes 2 money. And now again, there's no DM for me either. So whatever minion wants to pull, he gets to pull. Part of me thinks I could have... So I hit the discard on Annie, it looks like, and I turn to the discard. Is that a resource? Minion Thieves. Again, if I turn to the Disrupt on Annie's pod, I keep him off of... If he's going to 6 resources, you have to assume he's dropping the big Falcon. So I activate 3PO, and I can quick resolve one of the dice, which I do, and I take 2 discard. I don't pay to increase it. I don't have any money. But the one comes from the actual discard side, and the other comes from spotting Anakin. So I get a hired muscle and a hidden motive. And here we see Minion AR for the Falcon, and with it, he gets to bring in the escape pod. At this point, I joke with him and tell him he had to AR the escape pod because he took that out first, but it didn't work. He didn't listen. So this is gonna be long, right? That's a just good die all around. I take the resource. He comes in with a resource and the 2 discard. I play a Resistance Ring on eLorSanTekka. I can't really tell what I have. He's got a flank, a fickle, and a hired, maybe? No, I discarded the hired. He takes the resource here. It's like a double focus, a blank, and a plus resource with a focus on 3PO still sitting out there. Goes to the discard and to the discard. Fickle comes down. I take 2 money. The guy that brought the stream and the giant tokens isn't using them because he's a moron. But, you know, dude, things happen. Looks like he gets the 1 gun. I've got a hired muscle. Are those 2 hired muscles in my hand? Escapecraft comes out. Looks like it gets another resource. That's a 3 melee. And he resolves that R2 die. Puts 2 into C3PO. Take a discard for that last one. Yep, so he didn't have to worry about no answer because he had the discard showing, but if he's resolving that Falcon for a discard instead of a 3-ranged or 4 indirect or whatever it might be, I'm definitely okay with that. He does one more with the Fickle. I claim. And here we realize we're not using the tokens, I think. See, he's still doing it. He's still taking his own stuff. Minion, good guy. Alright, so looks like we got an Entourage in his hand. Can't really tell. I see a Bartering in mine. I bring in the Hired Muscle right away because it's got discard shields and disrupt. A lot of nice things. He hits the 3-for-1. Got a Hidden Motive in my hand, Resistance Ring, another Annie's Pod. I buy his Fickle. Brings in eSatine for 2-for-1 and a single resource. Annie's Pod comes in, hits a blank. 3PO comes in, and he goes up to 4 resources. I'll bring in Anakin, and I'll turn the pod to the discard side. Looks like a Bubble Shield's in his hand as well. I see a lot of red. They're kind of close together. And I keep frantically shuffling my hand. Entourage comes down. There I go. I swap out the resources. Three PO comes out. Again, do the quick resolve. And I take a Field Medic and a Hired. Was really hoping... Oh, the Hired, getting the Hired's fine, I think. The Field Medic is obviously... Who cares? I still can't tell what that other card in my hand is. At this point, I grab 2 shields with the Hired Muscle. Now, eLorSanTekka comes in. Looks like a focus, the plus resource on the ring, and a discard on his other die. Debating playing the Hidden Motive. Instead, I reroll. Resource, focus, resource, and 2 focus. Oh, I think that other card's Clever Distraction, which I can use to mill 2 off the top. Or remove a Trooper die, or something else. But I don't really care, I only ever use it for the mill 2. Spot blue as well. And I take a resource with Anakin's die. He detaches. I use my focus to go to discard and to money probably. Yep, he plays the Entourage. If I get that earlier with the discard, it could be a different game, but this certainly makes it tough. Yeah. And obviously, if I'm playing mill the entire time with red, I want to be being able to sit on a resource and get them down to 1 card, because then that threatens no answer, whether or not I do have it, because I still do have 4 cards. Yep, and I take one, so now he will either have to... And I get the Fickle, so that's good. His last card is something red. He resolves indirect. 4/5. So I take 2 shields off 3PO, 2 off Anakin, and put a damage onto eLorSanTekka. Still haven't found value out of his power action yet. Right, if I put power action the pacify hired and Anakin's, I get no value. Although I do have the hired now, and I get to do clever distraction, and I get both automated defenses. Yep, take some money. Now I power action. So pacify, clever distraction, and hired muscle. I believe he gives me the hired here. Nope, gives me the pacify, and those 2 cards are set off to the side. R2 comes in, you can turn. And he turns to the floor for $1. Play a ring. I get Flee the Scene off of his deck, and it certainly makes his decision more interesting. Right now, does he go for Anakin, who has the ring with a pot out, or does he go for 3PO, risking the chance that I could draw him to R2 later? 3PO is obviously just a good utility character. Anyways. And he continues into 3PO, puts 4. So he's up to 5 damage on him. I grab a shield. He focuses to nothing. Spends 2 to buy a Fickle. Take a resource. He turns to that. I pacify it. He claims, and I play a bartering on eLorSanTekka. Clever distraction, pacify, Senate chamber, field medic, something else. And he draws into a field medic, scruffy, and some other things. Field medic, scruffy, hand cannon. And he rolls out the Fickle and gets the discard. Hired muscle comes in, and that gets the 3 indirect. And the hand cannon comes down. And his pod comes in and hits a disrupt. It looks like he has EMP in his hand as well. So he's probably going to wait for me to focus. Annie's pod before he EMPs it. Hit him with another Pacify. Field Medic is the other card in my hand. Takes his 3 indirect. I do 2 into Lore and 1 into Anakin. Now I Lore. I take the double Pacify and the Hitamoto. He gives me a Pacify again. Forgot to attach the escape craft last round, and now it's showing a blank. I roll out Anakin, get the discard and a blank, it looks like, and I'm debating on turning. And I turn to the 2 shield side, and that's where the EMP comes in. Lure comes in with a focus, a resource, a focus, and it looks like another focus. E3PO is coming in. And I quickly resolve the focus and turn to the 2 discard on the hired muscle. Rolls out, gets a resource on 3PO, and is probably just debating what he wants to boost. And he does 2 damage. So I take the 2 discard, get a Pacify and a Scruffy, it looks like. He has 1 card in hand that he's going to use to reroll. Because I do have a resource, and he has 1 card. So he's got Avoid No Answer. And now he still does have 2 entourages in the backup and the Falcon. So he really hasn't rolled in his large supports just yet. I take 2 resources, go up to 3. He's going to take a resource because might as well. Right? He'll be able to attach that and roll it back in. There he goes, using those tokens he actually brought for the stream. That guy. The guy on the left is the worst. Looks like a shield side on the Falcon and the blank on the escape craft. So I think I pacify. Yeah, pacify eSatine's die just to take out that focus, and then just leave him with whatever he rolls. So, I mean, he really could get a solid turn here, depending on what he rolls. It looks like he comes in with the indirect. So I think I grab 2 shields here just because it is the indirect. And there it goes. Yep, so I deal 1 to Anakin and swap out the other token. There he goes. He got there. It only took him 20 minutes. And I do the resistance ring to heal 2 from 3PO to go back down to 2 to keep him out of range this turn of dying. And the special comes in, and the special is currently representing 3. I don't have a way to steal that Fickle to bring it down to 2, but that's okay. I think what I'll do is, I think I just do Clever Distraction. Right, that's what that is. Yeah. Yeah, Clever Distraction for Hidden Motive and the other hand cannon. He will feed off the blank to go up to 2 resources. Discard, looking for just something off of him. Comes up with the blank. Right, now he's at a weird crossroads again. All my characters are back down to low health after 2 field medics on 3PO. Lor's got 2 upgrades and 2 dice, just with his elite. And then Anakin again with the pod, having the least amount of health and having a resistance ring on him. So he moves over to Lore and does 3 into Lore. On to the next round. Bartering, Hidden Motive, Vandalize, and there's a no answer. Looks like Minion I saw an N1 Starfighter before he moved his hand. Blank on Lord, discard on Bartering, focus on the Resistance Ring, and it looks like a resource on eLorSanTekka's die. He plays a Chewbacca's Blaster, does the damage, of course, no reason not to roll it in to the pool. And it hits a blank. Alright, Muscle comes in. Or sorry, Annie's pod comes in with a Disrupt. He hits 2 ranged. Hit a motive onto it. And I get it. So now, of course, he could have Ewok Ambush or something, but he does not. He rolls out R2. Hits the damage on everything except R2. So he turns the R2. Looks like a 2 range on the hand cannon and the 3 range on Chewbacca's blaster. So now, of course, kind of puts me in a tight spot. I assume Lord's going to die, so I just take 2 resources. I think he debates whether or not he wants a 3PO here. So he does 3PO, he rolls out, he does the 4 into eLorSanTekka. And now he's still showing 4, 5, 6 damage. And Alter Fate comes into play for 3, removes all dice showing damage. And his Fickle comes in. Hits the 2 ranged, which is not something you want to see. Anakin comes in, probably going to turn to the 2 shield side. He has, what, 3 cards in hand? 4 cards? Maybe it goes to discard, yeah. Goes to discard, and just knowing that I have no answer in my hand, I will probably try to force that, but Minion is a good player. I think he plays around it, but we'll see. I don't exactly remember. Looks like he gets the 2 discard and a resource on the escape craft. I take a money first. Does 2 into 3PO, puts him into 4. I activate 3PO, will probably quick resolve the discard. I pay 1 to increase it. So pacify Crate and Ezra's, I believe. And now he's probably looking at his deck. And yes, I do have that other resource. And the question for him becomes, like, it looks like he has 3 cards right there, right? So if he doesn't re-roll here, it's a win for me. But going in around 3, me being through half my deck, there's no reason that he shouldn't just pitch, even if it feels bad. And he does. He pitches the N1 and just re-rolls. This will be tough for me. He's sitting on a focus from 3PO, a focus from eSatine, and still has both entourages. And the Falcon is sitting on 4 indirect. So this is obviously a tight spot for myself. And because of that, I think I just grabbed 3 shields. Entourage comes in, hits the 2 resource. Hard Muscle comes in, gets a 2 discard, which is not relevant at this time. I think at that point I rolled the 2 range and I joked that I'm going to win on tiebreakers, and I think he got really confused because he was actually, playing the game. Yep, and he uses the focuses here to go to special and special. Again, that is risky, right? I could have easy pickings. But alas, I do not. But even if I did, I think it would be really hard for me to get through the next round. Just based off the fact that he would still get to roll out all of those things. I think I could get his last few cards having Anakin's pod, but... So that's representing 6 now. And 6 kills Anakin. He does the 4. And we go into the last round. Or what I'm assuming is the last round. He has to do 2 damage, so. Yeah, he's just detaching the escape craft, see if he can get a resource or whatever out of it. It looks like his last 3 cards are 2 easy pickings and something else. We bring in Annie's pod, gets the blank, and that should just do it, right? He has to roll, well below average for me to have any hope here. What's that on top? Looks like I have 2 automated defenses in my hand, which are alive because 3PO is alive. But obviously, if he turns, I can't stop both. So that's good game. Minion goes on. eSatine AR is now 4-0. I dropped to 3-1. But yeah, again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all everybody's support, Patreons, whatever it might be, and we'll catch you guys for round 5 in just a little bit.